The following program is rated E.
From Queen and John, it's Cityline.
Today on Cityline, the 40th anniversary celebrations continue. Take a sip for me, girl. Thank you. Yes. We've always been about having the difficult conversations you don't see on TV.
You don't come on Cityline to be fixed.
No.
You come on Cityline to have a conversation.
Then, the surprises aren't just for you. I get surprised too. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. And later, this show belongs to the audience, and it's important that it reflects them.
I love that when you guys approached me and I came on, it was not about the hijab at all.
It's Cityline
with Tracy Moore.
Hi, everyone. How you doing? How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a seat, everyone. Have a seat. Thank you so much. Oh, the joy of this audience. You all look beautiful. Beautiful. So nice. Welcome to Cityline. This week we are celebrating 40 years of the show. If you want to see a celebration, we should have had the cameras rolling before we started the show, okay? There's a little party going on over here. We are sharing laughter, tears, growth, all of it. Over the last 40 years, this show has changed the face of television for women in Canada. I'm so proud of this show. Not only by showing and hearing from women of all sizes, ages, races, and abilities, and creating a soft place to land for women, but also by having conversations no one in this country is bold enough to have, okay? So let's take a look at some of those very special moments. We are getting Cityline real, and it starts with this face. Eyelashes gone. Yep. The makeup's coming off. Okay, if anyone in the audience wants to join me, let's go for it. Shedding makeup, the bra. Let's take this off. And insecurities. This is the real me, and I love her. Yes. And this is Cityline Real. Today we're talking toxic beauty standards. Through shared experience, we've tackled meaningful and often uncomfortable conversations.
Infertility is an epidemic. We need to start talking about how we're dealing with this for every aspect of a woman's life, because when you're in it, Trace, it's the only thing that is happening to you.
Using the power of dialogue to drive positive change, Cityline Real broke barriers for women and men.
It wasn't promoted as a kid, but it's my responsibility now to do something about it. A man of color talking openly about his feelings for the youth.
What he told me when the blood test came back was that it was due to my hormones. I could not believe that I did not get an ultrasound. I did not even get an internal exam. It was just very, very frustrating.
From sexual health.
Yeah, getting an IUD was definitely the best decision for me.
Other things to know, after an IUD, there can be spotting right after totally normal.
To body image. The thing we all have in common is we are all the same weight. 185 pounds right across the board. Give it up for everyone for showing it all on national TV. And postpartum.
Mine manifested more in the realm of thinking I was not good enough for this baby. I was so highly self-critical that I ended up having some really dark thoughts and thinking maybe this baby will just be better off without me because I'm gonna screw this baby up.
Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot! In 2020, the world woke up with the murder of George Floyd. 9 minutes and 29 seconds. That's how long a police officer named Derek Chauvin kneeled on George Floyd's neck, murdering him 1 year ago today.
On this special Cityline Real on Race episode, we're reflecting on the past year and checking in on whether real change has actually been made.
And so one of the shifts that we have to grapple with, particularly within Canada as we fly the multiculturalism banner, is in understanding exactly how racism manifests in subtle ways.
With a commitment to listening and learning, we cultivated a space where women from all backgrounds felt heard, valued, and empowered.
We want to live in good relationships with each other and with this place. And I think it's important that Canadians put away that fear or recognize that fear as something that isn't necessarily a real threat.
We live in a society that's telling us to hit our bodies and lose weight, get smaller, get smaller, get smaller, but yet we celebrate such consumption.
Right.
Right. Someone comes in and is like, how can you show your body in a bikini? And I am like, how can you not?
Right.
Like, what is wrong? Like, why not?
From sharing my experience with becoming a mother, it was my husband who realized I had stopped eating. I'm still raw about it, and I have a 15-year-old. And so he talked to a girlfriend of mine, and he said, she's struggling. I don't know what to do. And I said, it's harder than I thought it was going to be. And she said, it is hard. We don't talk about how hard it is. It's hard, right? I'm okay for the tissues, honey. I got it back together. I got it together. I'm pulling it in. It has been a journey. Even looking back, oh my goodness, we have talked about it all on this show. Joining me to take a walk down memory lane and unpack some of our most powerful moments are my friends Tracy Peart and Teri Hart. I feel like we've been through it. Oh my gosh. Oh, as you both know, the show and Cityline Real has been a chance for people to learn about important topics and, more importantly, to learn about ourselves. And you know, I host the show, but I've learned about myself. And I think in the 15 years that I've hosted this show, I've learned to really lead with vulnerability. I don't feel like there's anything that I have not talked about on this show. You know, whether it's taking off makeup or, you know, talking about my eating disorder, body image issues, postpartum depression, racial issues, microaggressions. I've really sort of stepped into radical honesty and vulnerability on this show because that's the kind of TV I want to watch. And I feel that by me going there, everyone else could come in. You know, and so that to me has been such a great lesson. Yeah, it's been good. And we've made space for so many people to come in and get vulnerable and get real. Teri, you know, the first big interview you did on this show was talking about your infertility journey. We knew you as this reporter, producer, boss woman, and we did not know that side of you. And I felt really happy that you felt safe enough to talk about these things on the show. But what was the importance for you, the significance for you of talking about your journey on that show?
I think that when I was going through fertility treatment, people started talking about it more, but every story that I heard was that everybody ended up with a baby.
Yes.
And I didn't.
Yes.
After 6 years.
Yes.
And 6 years, 5 miscarriages, and I really felt like I wanted to give a voice to that experience because I knew in my heart that I wasn't alone. I knew I wasn't the only person, but it just wasn't part of the conversation of fertility. It was talking about fertility. It wasn't talking about infertility. And they're different things. And, you know, this was the right place for me to do it. I love you.
Me too.
I trust you, and you have a way of letting people talk about their experiences and having that one experience not define them.
Yes.
You know? And you have an incredible amount of empathy. You don't come on Cityline to be fixed.
No.
You come on Cityline to have a conversation. And that, I think, is so unique and so different. And, you know, that segment changed my life. It
took away the shame that I had about being infertile and the experience that I had. People still find that episode online and reach out to me via DMs and say, how are you doing now? Or I'm in this now. And it really was something that allowed me to be a more authentic person and to open up that experience and give a face and a voice to it and say, you can still live a fulfilled life. And it isn't the only, like, if I had to become a mom, it wouldn't have defined me. So not becoming a mom, that can't define me either.
Beautiful.
And you gave me that. You gave me that.
That's beautifully said. Beautifully said. You know, body image is something that we've made our mission to talk about a lot on the show, and you've seen some of the projects that we've done on the show. Tracy P has been such a huge part of this revolution on the show, and you've always been really good about bringing your truth and your perspective and your story to the table. How have you seen Cityline change the conversation on body image on this show?
Well, even just letting me do the plus size segments on the show, right? Like, I'm not saying that there haven't been plus size models on the show before, there was, but I wanted to do segments where everybody was plus size in the segment, right? So we don't just have this one cookie cutter size for plus size, like this perfectly, you know, proportioned hourglass type of figure. I wanted to show different sizes, shorter, taller, top heavy, bottom heavy. It's different races. It's so important for everybody to be represented and to see themselves on TV. And to have a whole segment with all these plus size women, it meant so much to me to be able to see it, and it meant so much for people. I still get people coming up to me and thanking me. I got, that day that we did our very first one, I mean, I got like, I think 400 followers that day just on social media from that one segment, and people were crying, telling me they're sitting on their couch crying because they finally saw someone on a Fashion Friday that looked like them. And so for me, it just meant so much, and one of my most favorite ones was the plus size prom segment that we did. It just meant so much for these girls, and it, like, one girl, when she got her dress, she called her dad, and her dad was breaking out crying on the phone, and he was like, my daughter just was not, like, she didn't have a dress, and I'm just so happy that she has a dress now. What the show has allowed us to do is show different types of bodies and show them looking fabulous. And you are always supportive of me, so I want to thank you here for letting me do that. And I want to thank the show for letting me do that.
And I'll just add, you're welcome, and thank you for bringing that special brand to the show, because you weren't just bringing plus size, you were bringing size 26, size 28,
34,
size 34. You do not see that on Canadian daytime television.
Dare I say you were the only ones doing it on Canadian daytime television. Yes, we are.
Thanks to both of you. Thanks to both of you for all the support and all the wisdom that you've brought on this show. I also want to give a shout out to some of our amazing experts joining us in the audience. What a delight to come out and see these faces. We have them in the VIP section because, of course, it's a party. Before we head to break, let's hear from some familiar faces about what Cityline means to them.
Something I've always loved about Cityline is their ability to have these really incredible, vulnerable chats with experts from all over, and also have the fun chats too. It just genuinely feels so incredible to see them do all of the things and leading the charge on having conversations that I didn't see in many other places for a really long time.
We've talked about the big O, we've talked about the clitoris, we've talked about body image, about how to talk to young people about sex, and basically how to be a better partner, because our relationships are our greatest assets in life.
You have welcomed me from day one to talk about things that no one wanted to talk about, like body acceptance, thigh chafe, boob sweat. Cityline is the absolute best.
We asked so many women to talk about their perimenopause or menopause symptoms today on the show. You know what we heard? Nope. A lot of people said no. Do you know why they said no? They're scared, and rightfully so. I'm taking a risk here talking openly about my symptoms. I am, because society frowns upon aging women. Yeah, a little more of that radical honesty. That was a clip from a show we did on menopause, and it was so powerful and kind of shocking, but not really, that so many women were like, absolutely not. I don't want to let people know exactly where I'm at in my life and my age, because they're thinking, will I have the same job opportunities? Can I date the same people? Like, people will judge you based on your age. This happens in our world. But here on Cityline, we don't care about all that. We've given women of all ages a place to feel safe when it comes to these conversations. So we're going to dive in a little bit more. Trace and Teri are back, and Kathie Donovan joins us now. Kathie is the sun. I'm happy you're wearing yellow. She's just so happy, and the vibes are always immaculate with you. So let's talk about how we've shifted the conversation around aging.
Yeah, because it's both behind and in front of the camera here at Cityline.
Yes.
You know, there's an acknowledgement, a recognition, and a celebration that we're all unique. And as we age, that's what happens. It's a unique experience for every one of us. But we have so many misunderstandings about what it is to get older.
Yeah,
I'm 72 now, so I'm giving you the good news. It's not
good.
It's not a curse. It's actually a blessing. And I think, you know, you talk about radical acceptance, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
When we start to radically accept ourselves as we are, that's where the power lives.
Right.
So I feel like there are conversations on Cityline around the hidden challenges that women deal with post-menopause, in menopause, before menopause, like loneliness.
Yes.
Like the changes in our body, the changes in our family structure, which are all perfectly normal. And when we start to normalize these conversations, women see themselves and they feel recognized. They see that their experience, their wisdom matters, and they feel respected. So that's the magic.
That's the magic. So for so many years, like, we grew up not really hearing women speak about their menopause experiences. That was not a thing that we did on this show, and Cityline has definitely been championing it. So I want to talk about the impact of us helping to make menopause a daily conversation and making it mainstream. Teri, what can you add to that? Have you seen that on the show? Do you see the shift?
Absolutely, I see the shift. And I see the shift also in terms of recognizing how much we're marketed to. Like, menopause is having a moment for sure. People are talking about it, and that's all great. And I think that also furthering that conversation of understanding that we shouldn't be trying to make this not happen. We don't try to make puberty not happen. Why are we trying to make menopause not happen? It's the same hormonal shift in our bodies.
Yeah.
So let's understand it, let's work with it, and I think that Cityline does that. You know, again, back to the fact of, you're not trying to fix things on the show, you're not trying to change things on the show, you're trying to, you know, open the window and say, this is actually what's happening, and how do we live within this truth?
Yes.
Because we're not going to escape it, folks.
No.
I'm 52 and a half.
Yeah.
And a half? I still say half. Like, I go back to like a 6.5-year-old. I'm going to celebrate my half birthday.
Right? As you should. T, how about you? Like, how would you say the conversation is shifting, or what Cityline has brought to the table when it comes to aging?
Sometimes people don't even know what's wrong with them or why is this happening. Like, imagine if you didn't know what a period was, and when you were 12 years old, you just got a period, and no one explained it. You'd be like, oh my God, I'm dying.
That was half of us.
Exactly, right? What's happening? Well, I knew what it was, right? But it helps if people are telling you stuff and giving you the language so you can ask for help and not feel alone, and just, at least, at the very least, have comfort in knowing you're not the only one going through it. So I think these conversations are very important.
So, Kath, you actually said it's almost giving women an opportunity to embrace who we are.
100%. I mean, it's this idea that you mentioned, radical acceptance of who we are as we are.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, on your timeline, in your life adventure, you've got stuff going on. We've all got stuff going on. Nobody's got it all together. That's the beautiful news.
Yeah.
So when we tap into that power, because it's incredible when you accept yourself and you learn to love on yourself the way you are, you shine so bright.
I love that. And, you know, one of the criticisms that I get all the time is, you know, stop making excuses. This is not about excuses. Radical acceptance is about accepting who you are, and that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. And speaking of empowering women as they age, over a year ago, we wanted to put our platform to good use by collecting menstrual products to help fight period poverty. We asked our incredible viewers for donations to assist the charity, the Period Purse. So we were blown away. Let's see the impressive impact we have made together. Started at 0, and we got to.
Oh my.
Keep going.
Oh my. Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. That's all of you. A total of 110,912 product donations. Wow. Blown away. The first day, the bins were overflowing, like the first week. So thank you for your incredible generosity. And to celebrate, we wanted to give back to our audience. Over the past 10 years, the leading leak-proof brand in North America is Knix. They've expanded its offerings from leak-proof underwear to bras, swim, lounge, and more. All of you are taking home a $100 Knix gift card. Summer tote. It's so beautiful. Enjoy that. We'll be back celebrating 40 years of Cityline. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. We're back celebrating our 40th anniversary and looking back at some of our favorite moments. Of course, that has to include books. We've featured so many on the show, in fact, 36 to be exact. We know you love to read as much as we do, so here with her top picks for the book lover, it's Lisa Chen! My little Lisa!
Yes.
So many great products for the book lover, my girl.
Definitely. And Trace, before we get to that, I do want to call out the legacy that the Cityline Book Club has held over the years. You particularly, Queen, you have supported so many authors that are BIPOC, that are Canadian, female as well. So with that said, we have, yes, we have something for you to see. Check this out.
Okay.
Thank you for choosing my books to be a part of your book club and letting them reach so many more readers.
A huge congratulations on your 40th anniversary. You have done so much for me. I'm so delighted that I've been a Cityline Book Club pick twice. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do for books and writers.
So it was such a treat when Cityline decided to cover Gutter Child. It was such a treat to have so many of your viewers read the book and talk about it. It was a treat for Tracy to read the book and understand the themes so deeply and to be able to talk about it with me in such a rich and thoughtful way. Huge thank you, not only for what you did for me and for Gutter Child, but what you've done for all the books that have been covered on Cityline.
As a debut author, this was so huge. Tracy was so supportive of this book and all of its messages surrounding motherhood. And I was just so thrilled that this book was going to get into the hands of so many Canadian women so that they could have these important conversations.
Being a part of this meant so much to me, especially as someone who grew up watching Tracy Moore and seeing her break so many barriers for women of color, especially when talking about mental health. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this amazing show, and thank you, Tracy, you're the best.
It was so wonderful to watch Blood Like Fate be featured on a program that I have such fond childhood memories of.
I just think it's so special that Tracy and Cityline are putting their support behind Canadian authors like myself. It means the world to me, and I am so, so proud to be part of this club.
These picks from Tracy are intentional, and they're impactful, and they're powerful, and they just, to me, teach you something about yourself or another woman's experience, another person's experience that you otherwise would never really know about. So I loved being a part of this esteemed club.
Gosh, I was not expecting that. Like, these are my rock stars.
Yes,
the authors
absolutely.
are the rock stars.
And I know how much you love them. And T, what's so amazing is that we have a selection of those books here, and you're getting them all.
Put it here! You put it here! There's nothing better! A big thanks to Penguin, Random House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster. You can scan the QR code on the screen to be taken to our Amazon storefront, and there you will see the Cityline Book Club list pinned to the top. That was all a surprise from me. So I'm looking at my scripts like, what's happening here? And they're like, just read it.
Yes.
That was amazing, thank you. And Lisa, you have a bunch of other selections for those of us that like to sit at home. Everyone knows I love my pajamas, okay?
Yeah.
But let's talk about getting into cozy mode, and we're gonna start with setting the mood.
Yeah, so this is all for the book lover. So first things first, we are gonna get lit.
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and light a candle at home.
Yes.
I think that is
That
a perfect
kind of
way.
lit.
Yeah, that kind of lit. Not the other way. You know, this is all about cozy today.
Got it.
So what we have here is a beautiful Fiji White Sands flavor from White Barn. So Bath and Body Works, you know, they've been giving us scents that we absolutely love for the last 20 years, and that's exactly what this is. Clean, sweet, fresh. So you're definitely gonna love that on, let's say, a rainy day or when you just wanna get cozy.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to that, of course, when you're reading a book, chances are that you probably want a warm beverage.
Absolutely.
So from David's Tea, we have an amazing gift pack here, which is going to give us 3 flavors of caffeine-free tea. And what I love about this is that in the gift box, what you're gonna get is pre-portioned loose leaf tea. So all you have to do is empty that into your diffuser, pour in your hot water, and in your double-lined glass mug, away you go, you've got your beautiful, soothing cup of tea waiting there for you. Okay, so from Magic Bag, if you've never heard of this before, this is a heating pad that you put into the microwave. My mom is here in the audience. She will tell you I use this every single day.
Okay, all
I
right.
cuddle with this at night before I cuddle with my husband. You get a couple of different microwavable bags, plus we're gonna cover you head to toe. So you've got your eye mask as well as microwavable slippers, which I love.
Microwave your slippers, warm feet.
Toasty toes.
Love that.
From Endy, yes, you want to get under a blanket, get cozy. So we have a 4-layered muslin, 100% cotton blanket. What I love about that is that it's lightweight. You can really get cozy with this. But even in the summertime, if you wanted to use this as a comforter, you could definitely do that. Now, when it comes to the accessories from Indigo, what we have is an amazing mini flex book light. So if you're reading at nighttime, you can go ahead and put one of those 2 LEDs
I need
on.
this in my life.
Stays in place.
Look at this.
You're good to go.
Look at that. Very nice.
As well, we have magnetic bookmarks as well, so you'll never lose your place tea. All you have to do is just put that in.
Oh, that's so cool.
Put the magnet there, and away you go. So we've got some great accessories here from Indigo.
Very nice.
And then... Okay, I know we love a bookshelf. We love the physical books, but sometimes it can take a lot of space in our homes. Now from Kobo, we have the Libra. This is going to house 12,000 books in your e-reader, which I absolutely love.
How little it is.
It's so little, but you know, when it comes to the font, it's got great contrast, so you can see it really clearly as well. It's sustainable. It's got 85% recycled plastic on the exterior.
Nice.
And it's also waterproof. So if you wanted to read this in the bath, or let's say on the beach in a pool, you're good to go.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, comfy, cozy, book-loving gift ideas. And what's more amazing is that you are all getting all of these. Okay? That's not all. You can actually order your own Kobo e-reader because we're giving you a $160 Amazon gift card. Which means you are all walking away with over $600 in prizing each. Okay? Yes. We want to thank Hinterland in Prince Edward County for the Blanc de Blanc sparkling wine and Pretty Little Cupcakes for their Pretty Little Cupcakes we have all been enjoying today. Yeah, take a sip for me, girl. Thank you. Yes. Happy reading, everyone. We are back after this short break. Stay with us. Thank you for the surprise. Welcome back, everyone. We have said it before and we'll say it again. Representation matters, and Cityline has helped pave the way. Here to discuss all about it, we're going to talk all about it. We've got Shobana Lakkavally, Karlyn, Percil, Zehra, Allibhai. It is so nice to see you all on the show. You know, and we're at a point on the show where we're seeing so much diversity on the show and also behind the cameras, producers, and what have you. That wasn't always the case. And that's sort of what we want to talk about. When did you all start sort of feeling like this show also belonged to you? Shobana, I'm going to start with you.
You know, Trace, it was a journey. Like, when I started the show, I lived this dual life, sometimes Canadian, sometimes South Asian.
Yeah.
And I think growing with the show in the last few years has been instrumental in showing up as whole. You know, with that first segment that we did, it was a demo, and I chose a person from the audience that was BIPOC that also wore a hijab.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and it was so powerful because she said, you know, thank you so much for choosing me. This is the first time I've seen myself on TV. You know, someone like me on TV, and you looked at me and you're like, great work. And I know that you knew like that significance, that impact, you know, and then fast forward a few years, we're seeing that diversity in our producers and our team. So we didn't have to explain anymore like the whys. There was an understanding, the lived experience. We tackled issues like sunscreens that don't have white cast, makeup for melanated skin, makeovers on deeper skin toned people. And we were able to just have so many more people be seen, and we're the only ones doing that nationally. And I think that full circle moment happened when people started coming up to me and they said, thank you for showing me how to do this. Thank you for this product. You know, I feel seen. That's when I felt seen and I belonged.
Beautiful. I saw it. I saw it in you right away. The people you picked, the things you chose to speak about, it was very much about inclusivity. So, you know, on the show, we've talked about being the first and only, which has definitely been my experience. Zehra, the first expert on Cityline to wear hijab. We're so happy to have you here. That's not why we picked you to be on the show. We picked you because you're great in your niche, which is fitness and healthy cooking. But what has it been like for you? And what do you hear from people who watch you?
No, it's been great, and I love what you said. It's like, in the past, whenever it was media, I was like, how does it feel to wear hijab and to share fitness? And I was like, why is that always the first thing? And I love that when you guys approached me and I came on, it was not about the hijab at all. I was able to come as my full self, kind of express my faith, but also express my love of fitness and the fact that you do all these moves with me, I love. And it was never about, like, what are you wearing? Or, like, it was just about, you're passionate about this, we love fitness, I know how much you love it. So the fact that I could show it, and the fact that I could represent a woman in hijab. Like, I would have people being like, you know, you're being Muslim, you're wearing hijab, you're being South Asian. It was something that they could see in themselves, which was great. But the amount of people that I connected with that don't share my faith and background, that we found common ground. I do my 10,000 steps. I skipped because I saw a segment you did with, like, that was so important to see. That at the end of the day, we just want to be active, we want to get strong, and that was important. And that's what I loved about that.
I love that. Yeah. So good. Let's think back to 2020, even though it's a place I don't like to go to. We saw a major push for more conversations about race and diversity, but it was my personal mission to have these conversations long before 2020. I probably started in high school. So, Karlyn, talk to us a little bit about the importance of Cityline embracing the often uncomfortable topic of race and inequality, because it was something that stumped me, because it's daytime television,
I know.
but it's also these conversations need to happen, and you've seen them happen here. You've been a part of them.
Yes, I've seen them happen, and it has been such an honor to be a part of them, because it's not the norm, as you said, on daytime television. And having a conversation about race, to me, what Cityline has done, they have raised the bar on what it means to have conversations that matter, and also helping women and helping people to see themselves in their full humanity. And when we center race, you center my full humanity. You center and you create a baseline for the women who tune into the show to actually talk about real life challenges and things that they are going through. And that's what I love about the show. The show doesn't only talk about vulnerability, it centers vulnerability. And especially being a black woman who's able to center the full humanity of what it means to be a black woman, and also to talk about the cultural aspect of it. And again, alongside a show host who not only shows up and puts her heart and soul into it, but who also continues to live it, T. We love and admire you so much, so much. And I'll never forget my first show on Cityline was about vulnerability, and T was like, oh, and we're doing it with no makeup. I was like, what? And I have to say that vulnerability is not always rewarded.
Yeah.
So I really want to shout you out again, T, but also the producers and every single person who's a part of this show, because there is a cost for raising the bar, and you're doing it. And I'm so proud to be a part of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shobana.
Thank you. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. You know, I've gone through my own debates on the show. We've done great cultural shows like Lunar New Year, Eid, Diwali. We've celebrated them all on the show, and we've really broken down this cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation, and I am hypersensitive to it as a Black woman. So when we were going to do a Diwali show, and you all, Esther, our producer, Shobes, were like, oh, we need to get you in a sari. I was like, oh, no, you don't. Because I'm like, I am stepping now into another culture. For me, many people wear Black culture as a costume, but they don't give us rights, okay? So for me to step into a South Asian culture, I had an issue with it. And so there I am in the sari, because the first Diwali show we did, I did not wear the sari, and trust me, the aunties talked to me about that. They got all up in my comments. They're like, no, honey, that's appreciation for our culture. Yes. That's how we see it. And I listened.
Yes, you did.
And I listened.
Yes, you did.
And you all dressed me, and it was phenomenal.
Yes, exactly.
But these are the kind of conversations that happen on camera and off camera. So, and it's a constant evolution. So I have to thank you all for being a part of the, you know, sort of the changing of the guard here on the show. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
A big thank you to Wrapping Happy for the beautiful paper flowers around our set. Hope I didn't knock them off when I went to go take pictures with the audience over there. And to Starlight Events for helping us out with this beautiful decor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be right back. We got more coming up. Stay with us. Celebrating Cityline's 40th anniversary. And you know, over the past 40 years, we have transformed into a space where we can have really hard, really real conversations. But if you look way back, we had a show where we wanted to prioritize families and moms, and we had babies coming into our audience every Wednesday. I loved it. I thought it was a vibe. I got to pick up a baby every Wednesday, which was a lot of fun. Over time, we did transform, though, into a show that is more about having a lot of real conversations, a lot of conversations about the realness of parenting and having teens and having babies and what that means for the parents, particularly the moms. Now, there are two people that have been a part of this evolution right from the start, and it is Kat and Nat, who join me now. Listen, everyone at home is like, why are you three squeezed into the back of a vehicle? I'm sure they looked on TV and they thought, what's happening here? She was just in a studio and now she's in the back of a car with two gorgeous blondes. Like, what actually happened? It's been great to be working with you two. And why are we in the car?
This is where life happens. If you are a mom, you know real conversations happen in the car. It's where we would get in the morning, and I don't know how many people believe, if you're not a mom, how life goes sideways from when you wake up till 8:30 a drop off. Like an hour and a half is so you think you have nothing to talk about until you talk to a mom. You're like, you're not going to believe what happened this morning.
And our car was our original Mom Truth studio.
That's right. So this is the place where you have the real conversations with the kids because you're not looking at them.
Yes. And with your friends.
And with your friends. This is the place where you escape from the kids too.
You can lock the door.
And your kids used to be knocking on the window.
Yes.
Oh my God, the joy. And the other thing is we have done segments in the car before. I remember peeling off my eyelashes in the back of one of your vehicles at some point. I don't know. No. We've done a lot together.
You are the best car guest for sure.
It's been a lot of fun. But over the years, you know, we have worked together and you all started doing something called Mom Truths.
Yeah.
I was hooked.
You were one of the original supporters, and we would send them, and we'd say, Tracy, and you would say, keep going, girls, keep going, and then you said, I want you on the show, and you were literally one of the first women who supported us and found Mom Truths to be something, and will forever be, like, before it was a thing, you were our thing. You were the most famous person in our life who supported us, and still are such a supporter when the cameras aren't on. I think that's the biggest thing.
Thank you for that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Mom Truths, and I want to play a game with you called Mom Truths. That's right. We're going to do this. Okay. Okay. So, I've got questions you guys can answer.
Okay.
Okay. What secret parenting skill have you developed that you're secretly proud of?
Oh, not personalizing. I mean, like, that's a you thing, not a me thing. You know, not feel.
That's really good. Could you teach me?
Yeah, just, you know, you always say yourself, this is a you thing, not a me thing. This is a you thing, not a me thing.
I'm not a bad mom.
No, oh,
You're having a bad moment.
If you're a bad mom, you're a good mom. Okay. Because then if they don't like you, you're doing something right. If they're mad at you, you're putting in boundaries and rules.
Okay, well, I'm doing a lot of things right.
Yes, there you go. See,
And I've just been able to just tune out. Like, you don't need to listen to it all. You don't need to address it all. There's lots of forms that don't need to be signed.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Okay, there's a lot of things that will happen, and you don't need to touch every single detail. Sit back, relax, and let somebody else do it every once in a while.
What is the most creative lie you've ever told your child for their own good?
Oh, the park is closed.
Oh, yes.
Shut down.
Yes.
It's not open this weekend.
You know what? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when in doubt, get in the car and like put the windshield wipers on with the rain. It's raining. It's crazy.
Yeah. The animals at the zoo are sick, and
no,
we can't
do it.
Canceled.
Oh, well. What parenting myth did you totally buy into, only to find out it was completely untrue? When I think of this question, you know what I think of yours? Waking up beautifully in the morning, your husband on one side, the mom on the other, and the baby peacefully sleeping in the middle.
In any farm.
Never happened.
Any farm.
And
like any farm, like when they go and take pictures in matching clothing and you go and yours is like crying and doesn't like it and you're like, why did we drive an hour to go get a pumpkin for 3 times the cost that we could have got at the corner store for $1?
No,
you know?
I definitely used to think that like when I was a mom, everything would just look so cute and perfect. Like I swear I saw those moms, but then when I became a mom, I just couldn't be that mom. Now I realize nobody's like that. Nothing's
It was never
perfect.
real.
It was never.
We're a mess.
Ever. We're a mess with a little lipstick on.
What is the most absurd reason you've given your kids for why they can't do something other than the park is closed?
What is the most
The park is
absurd?
shut down for maintenance.
You know, sometimes what I do is I'm like, this is a great idea, and I get ready, and then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I said, you know, we're not doing that anymore. They're like, what? And I'm like, so now I'm just at the place where I'm like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. They're like, you can't do that. I'm like, I did it. I just think that sometimes you get, the more kids you have, the less like stamina you have. You're like, you know, it's not happening today.
Yeah, yes.
It's done.
And the more lies you tell, little lies all the time, whatever you need to
just
get you
ignore
through
it.
the day.
Get really busy. Be like, what? Tomorrow.
Let me tell both of you, you are a breath of fresh air for so many moms in so many areas of the world, and please keep doing what you're doing because you give all of us the opportunity to exhale and stop beating ourselves up. Kat and Nat, everyone, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
for everything.
Thank you. You are the most.
And you never stop.
And you never stop.
You never stop.
And let's go to break. We got more Cityline coming up. It's our 40th anniversary. Thanks, girls. Goodness, it has been such a fun show. Looking back at 40 years of Cityline, I gotta say the show is nothing without our audience, and I'm talking about you, studio audience. We love our studio audience. We love that you come and hang out with us every day. We love all of our viewers at home. You all make the show. All of the experts that have chimed in on all of these episodes for 40 years. You are the best in the country. Make sure you watch tomorrow as we continue to celebrate 40 years of Cityline. Thank you, Kat and Nat. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
This show is a trailblazing show.
Ready for take?
Created by women in a time where there were not a lot of women at the forefront making decisions for television content.
Cityline means powerful women.
Empowerment. Possibilities.
Self-cultivation.
For women.
Cityline was a trailblazer. It paved the way for a lot of other TV shows.
The show really is a testament to the women who work on the show and create it every single day.
I really got mentored by a lot of very strong women. I got to talk about topics that you weren't seeing on Canadian television. We got vulnerable. Our audiences in turn got vulnerable back with us, and it's been beautiful to watch.
You know, these ideas, they come from the women who work on the show. They come from their private lives. They come from things and experiences that they're going through that other women can relate to. And so a little piece of us is in every episode.